What's up guys, Nate again, and I finally finished Wave 3 Amiibos the other day, so I wanted to share this entire wave and kind of talk about which ones I liked the best and show you guys how I open my figures, because I like to preserve the boxes for whatever reason, and I guess just part of my crazy hoarder collector mentality. I'm super careful and anal about opening them, so I'll show you guys how I do that if you're wondering. There's been some videos online that do a similar way that I do it, but it works out well, and if I ever wanted to redisplay them in the boxes again, I have that option, but I probably won't. Anyways, this wave was kind of a nightmare. This was the first wave that included store-exclusive figures, and all of them were pretty easy to get, to be honest, except for Rosalina. She required a early morning trip to Target, but that was really the worst of it, I guess. The other three I pre-ordered and got with no issues whatsoever. Honestly, I didn't have any issues with any of them. It's just wondering when they were going to show up to the places that I pre-ordered them, and luckily, GameStop pulled through and got me everything that I pre-ordered, but it took a little while. Anyway, that being said, I was going to just kind of go through each figure and talk about them. First, we have the Bowser figure, and Bowser's one of my favorites of this wave. He's really heavy, and they captured a lot of good detail in him. He's probably one of my favorite amiibos of all of them so far, just based on just the pose and the fact that there's no supports, and just the weight and size of him is really, really nice. And up next is Toon Link. I got this one at the same time I got Bowser, and he's not one of my favorite ones. The other Link has a similar issue where he's kind of looking down. You can't really see his face that well when he's standing upright, and I don't know, I kind of wish he was looking more up at an angle, but either way, he's got some pretty decent detail for Toon Link. I like his shield and his scabbard for his sword. But all in all, not too bad, I guess. Up next is Lucario. This one was from Toys R Us. Not one of my favorites either. I'm not really a huge fan of Lucario as a character. I think he's, I don't know, just whatever. There's not really many Pokemon that jump out at me, but he's alright, I guess. I don't know, whatever. And next is Rosalina, and she's actually one of my favorites despite her fat little sausage fingers she's got. I saw a video or a picture of her next to one of the Elsa from Frozen Disney Infinity figures, and their fingers, like the Disney Infinity fingers, are way more like dainty and feminine, and Rosalina's are like these big fat hot dogs. But without showing them side by side, I really don't know if you could really tell, but there's definitely a difference. But all in all, she's really nice. Lucky to get this one. I got to the Target to get her at like 7 a.m. and there was already like a line of 30-something dudes, not 30 people, but like 30-year-olds waiting, and we all got our princess toys. Up next is Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles, and this was the GameStop exclusive, and he's really awesome too. He's got a lot of detail in his paint and his deco. Really nice quality figure. Pretty decent little support for him since he's got such an awkward angle he's standing at, but really nice figure, and really glad I was able to get him too. And up next is Chic, and I got her the same time I got Shulk. And again, not one of my favorites. It's kind of it's an interesting pose, I guess, but not really great for a figure. Again, she's got the same problem where she's looking down, and you can't really see much of her face. Well, what you're supposed to be able to see of her face anyway. I don't know, not terrible. It's cool to have a Chic figure, I guess, but I don't know, not one of my favorites. Up next is Meta Knight, and he's really awesome. I've always wanted a Meta Knight figure, and luckily we were able to get one with the amiibo line. Really nice quality on him too. He's got some black wash on the metallic parts of his armor that some figures I've seen look kind of bad. Mine's not too terrible, honestly. Like, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but it's supposed to give like an aged or like metallic look to it, but I heard some people complaining they weren't really a fan of that wash, but I think it looks pretty nice. They also did some similar things on these little claws on his wings. So all in all, nice figure. This was a Best Buy exclusive, and luckily just pre-ordered him and walked right in and got it. Up next is Sonic. Not really much to say about him. I like his sprint pose he's in. It's pretty nice and whatever, but I don't know. I haven't really been a huge fan of Sonic in recent years. I still like him as a character, I guess, but as far as his games go, not so hot anymore. Not all of them have been terrible, but for the most part, it's about 50-50, and that's not a good ratio for such an iconic character. All in all, he's a pretty nice figure. His support stand is a little invasive, I guess, but what are you going to do? And up next is Ike from Fire Emblem, and he's really awesome as well. A lot of good detail in his armor and his buckles. Got a nice decal on his cape. The sword has this support down here at the bottom that I'm not too crazy about, but all in all, he's pretty nice. A lot of the faces of Ike's were a little derpy, kind of like the Marths were in Wave 1, but mine's pretty decent. And up next is King Dede, and he's one of my favorites too. He's like Bowser, he's really heavy. A lot of good decoration on him. He's got this nice decal on the back. His robes have this like kind of a shiny paint around the edges, and it's really colorful and really nice figure. I really like him. And finally, my favorite amiibo of the group is Megaman. And mostly because I'm a huge fan of Megaman, but also because I just really like the pose he's in. I think Nintendo did a great job capturing his essence in Smash Brothers. It's a really good representation of him, and this amiibo captures it really well. Not much to say, really. He's got this nice blue, shiny deco paint on his helmet and gloves and boots and his little panties. Good detail in his eyes. Buster has some red deco. And a little yellow on his Buster as well. So yeah, he's probably my favorite of all of them. If I had to pick my 4 favorites from this wave, it would be these 4 here. I don't really care for the ones that have a lot of support stands. Shulk is an exception just because I think his detail is really, really nice and it makes up for his support. But the other 3 have no supports, so they all have that in common. And kind of like my Little Mac, which was my favorite from prior to this wave, he didn't have any of the supports either, so hopefully in the future, Nintendo will do without the supports as much as possible. So hopefully they'll keep them getting slimmer and smaller and less, or a little, at least more discreet. And finally, before I go, just wanted to show you guys how I open my figures. As you can see, I put Chic back in her packaging here. So you can see you can still display them really nicely, and you can pick them up, and really doesn't look like anything's been done. But on the bottom, you can see that I've pretty much cut away the entire bottom except for this edge up here. So you can start cutting along that bottom edge with like an X-Acto knife, and then you can come up both sides, and then really you just kind of pull everything out. I mean, be gentle, I guess. We don't want to tear the paper, but she just comes right out. And not drop everything here, and you can just slide that back in. Anyway, and then sealed back up. And for the most part, it looks pretty much untouched. The insert got a little wrinkled when I was just messing with it now, unfortunately, but whatever, I don't care. But anyways, guys, that is Amiibo Wave 3. The next wave is the Mario Party Amiibos, which I have pre-ordered from Amazon. So hopefully they'll get here in the next month or so, and I can share those as well. Wave 4 we still don't have a pre-order date for yet, but I'm really looking forward to the day where I can, because I'm mildly obsessed with these things. And as a grown-ass man, I'm not really ashamed to admit that. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll talk to you next time. Take it easy.